Rights, Community Architects Network, and Platform of Community Action and Architecture. I'm Mahmoud Alam from Dhaka, Bangladesh, Platform of Community Action and Architecture. And today we have a very important topic within this collective housing framework. So the topic is access to finance. And today we will have three countries sharing and then more discussion format. So I would like to invite Lajana Manandhar, Secretary General of Asia Coalition for Housing Rights and Executive Director of Numanti Support Group for Shelter. So Lajana Di will facilitate today's session and then also facilitate the discussion and knowledge accumulation. So Lajanadi, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mahmouda. Namaste and greetings. I'm very pleased to facilitate, to moderate today's session and also to make a presentation on Nepal case as well. So I would like to welcome you all to this session. Today is the fourth day of the collective housing training that ACHR and POCA have been organizing jointly, right? And you all have been participating, have participated so well, and it's gone so well the last three sessions. So today is the fourth session, and I hope that you will learn a lot and you will enjoy this session too. See, ACHR has made community finance for collective housing as a cornerstone of our work. It is very important. So whatever we do is related with finance, right? And today's session is community financing for collective housing. So it's like a cornerstone of the ACHR work. The members of the ACHR in all the countries in Asia actually really work very hard ensuring that the community leads the financing process as well. And in the face of this rapid urbanization, displacement, and inequality across Asia that is actually happening, it's a very it's a very kind of like heartening situation. Here we see the inequality, the slum dwellers, the communities, the poor communities facing so many problems all the time. We believe that the solutions must be rooted in the very communities that are most affected, and that starts with how we finance housing. See, traditionally, the development models, communities are too often treated as passive recipients. So the communities have been treated in the past as the recipients. And the decisions about their housing, infrastructure, relocation, slum upgrading, and all these key decisions are made by others, not by the communities. They are not engaged in the process, right? So the others means like the government, the developers, or even the funding partners, funders, and usually without genuine community participation. But then the community finance approach flips this model. So it places control back into the hands of the people through saving groups, community funds, and grassroots financial institutions. The urban poor communities, the women, the poor, the vulnerable, they organize themselves and they pool the resources and plan collectively for their futures. That's what we have actually seen experiencing in the communities, in the cities where we have been actively engaged. This model is not about charity. So when we talk about the community finance, right, it's not about charity. It's about dignity. It's about dignity, getting recognized, recognition, and sustainability of the work that we have been doing, the communities have been leading. When the communities manage their own finance, they are more empowered to shape their own solutions. And those solutions tend to be more affordable, more appropriate, and also more lasting. So now how we are linking the community finance with collective housing. So even the title of the session today is the community financing for collective housing. So how we are linking the finance with collective housing. And because housing is not just about shelter, it's not only a physical, only in the physical sense, it's about like social fabric, identity, and security, right? Living together. Collective housing means designing and building homes together It's working together. So the community groups, communities, the community members, they come together, they work together to preserve relationships, cultural practices, and support the system as well. So to continue the process, to continue the work. It's not like, you do the project one time, it is finished, and then it's complete and no more. So the women, the communities, they continue to work together. And in ACHR, we have seen when communities are able to build collectively, they can negotiate better with authorities, right? So they negotiate better with the authorities. They negotiate for land, for secure tenure, for housing, for livelihoods, for better infrastructure, and also to maximize scarce urban land, and also create environments where families not only live but thrive and they prosper. Collective housing often includes shared infrastructure, green spaces, community centers, and is designed to meet local needs, not external agendas. So when the people actually work together, they can make better decisions for themselves. So for these reasons, it is very important that we actually focus on community financing. That's why it is very, very important. And we have been implementing the community finance, working with the communities, helping them to set up saving funds, saving groups, saving funds, saving groups, urban poor funds, and creating the local base of financial resources and shifting the paradigm. That's how we have been actually warning. And this model has been implemented and practiced in a number of Asian cities, right? So there is the urban poor funds in place, because that also gives accessible to flexible finance. That is very, very important, where the community actually makes decisions how they want to operate the saving schemes, how they want to fix the interest rate for the savings, how they want to provide loans, to whom they want to provide loans. So all these things, the decisions are taken by the groups, communities. And there's a lot of learning and exchange happens. Communities learn from each other. They visit each other, not only in one country, but then we also promote regional exchanges, learning programs, where we actually share with each other, learn each other, and grow together. And the community finance is also a way. We have seen that communities have used the finance as a way to leverage policy change, as a way to leverage more resources for the betterment of the communities. And there are many, many examples, very good examples. It's actually happening even in Thailand, Philippines, Nepal, Sri Lanka. In Pakistan also, they have started now, in Mongolia, and so many other countries. And in this context, see, we have today we are going to present 3 cases from 3 countries. So one from Sri Lanka, one from Myanmar, and one from Nepal. And we will also have a short intervention from Somsuk and Robi to share the experience of Thailand and Philippines as well. See, we are actually focusing on community finance for collective housing because we believe that real change starts at the grassroots, right? At the communities. And finance is power. And when communities control the finance, they control their future. So this is what we have actually seen happening. And by investing in this approach, we are not just building houses, we are building resilience, solidarity, and democracy from below. So therefore, we are really giving a weight and importance, and we really think that the community finance is very, very important for promoting, sustaining the collective housing process. So now we will hear the detailed cases, how this is being actually implemented on ground. So we have 3 presentations today. The first presentation is going to be made by Ashoka from the president of the Women's Cooperative in Sri Lanka. Let me give you a brief introduction to Ashoka. See, Ashoka is going to present a case from Sri Lanka, and Ashoka Herat, she's the president of the Sri Lanka Women's Development Services Cooperative Society. And Ashoka has served as the president of the Sri Lanka Women's Development Cooperative Society since 2018. And she was also re-elected for a 42-year term at the election held last month. So congratulations, Ashoka.
Thank you.
She is a long-standing member of the cooperative from the Siwalipura community, the largest low-income settlement in Colombo. Her engagement with the movement began in 1997 when she joined the Siwalipura branch as a small group member. Right, and she subsequently took on leadership responsibilities as a group leader and later as a member of the branch management team. So over the years, Ashoka has contributed significantly to the growth and strengthening of the cooperative. She has served on the national audit team and the training team, bringing her knowledge and experience to support institutional development and capacity building at the national level. So she has been in this area for the last 30 plus years, and she was a small, she started as a group leader and now she's leading as a president, right? So Ashoka, the floor is yours now.
Thank you all. Good afternoon.
Yeah, can you all hear us? Hello, can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Loud and clear, yeah.
Yeah, Ashoka and myself are here in the Women's Cooperative headquarters. So on behalf of Ashoka, I will make the presentation and she will be with us, and she is giving all the necessary information when the Q&A session. So Women's Cooperative, we are working with Women's Coop as supporting a partner. So from the beginning, and so we are happy to support Women's Coop even in this moment. So let me start Ashoka's presentation. I will share the screen. Can you see the slides? Hello?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Women's Coop. Yeah, we are presenting the Women's Cooperative experience, how the community and the poor women collectively organize their finance to address all the issues of the community people. The center is housing. They start with addressing small daily requirements and then the housing. Now it has gradually expanded its services to more and more community needs, to address more and more community needs. So the Women's Coop was started in 1989. Today it is 36 years old organization, and the Mr. Gamage, he was the founder of this the movement, Women's Cooperative Society. And you see the basic information about Women's Cooperative. It's a national level cooperative. It's registered under the cooperative law of Sri Lanka. And as I said, it was started in 1989 with 8 poor women from a low-income settlements in Colombo. And now it has expanded with membership over 125,000 members. It's not only the members, but member families. Altogether, they are supporting around 750,000 direct beneficiaries, including family members, in-laws, and all the close relatives of the family. And at the moment, they have 279 branches, bank branches, covering almost all the districts of Sri Lanka. And total savings amount is around 24 million US dollars. And so far, they have distributed 32 million US dollar worth loans to their membership. And also, they have created some funds to cater their membership. They have US dollar 12 million in their funds. And the unique feature of this movement, it's completely managed by women. There are no NGO, no government, no any other officials are in the management of the women's cooperative. From top to bottom, entire process is managed by women from low-income settlements. Then it's the community movement. They start as a community movement and start to serve basic needs of the people of low-income settlements at that time. That time, the needs were very limited, just to buy a packet of milk and find money to go to doctor, buy that kind of small things. They have started with their small savings, the 5 rupees, and gradually expanded. Now they are doing very, organized programs for different things. Like they are giving scholarships to their children in university. So, and also they have started insurance schemes, health schemes, and a lot of things. And another thing is the entire decisions are taken by women collectively at the group level, then to the branch level, and to the national level. And trust and commitment among women is one of the key feature in this movement. And they have maintained transparency in operation at every level, and financial discipline, and also the management is very unique. And weekly meetings of groups provide the space and opportunity to members to share their problem, assess the need, and agree on different things, including loan. And loans are issued to the group, not to the individual. It's a responsibility of group to ensure the repayment. So that's how they ensure the guarantee the loan repayment. And also, initially they have worked on small things like emergency loans, but now they have expanded their program in 12 thematic areas. And every group member is responsible for at least one thematic area. Therefore, in a group, there are different leaders. It's helped them to become leaders in the in the movement, and it's open for all the members to climb up to the top management level if they perform well. Yeah, that's the hierarchy of organization. They have small group, then branches, then National Leaders Council, then National Executive Board. And the entire movement is guided by the laws of Department of Cooperative Development. Though this is a very big movement at the moment, the foundation is the small group. It's 5 to 15 women get together in the same locality or the same settlement. They form group, and the weekly meeting is the platform to them to discuss their issues, their family problems, and everything. They cannot talk within their household, they can talk in the small group. Then the trust and the bonding is improving within the group. And in the group, they do compulsory savings. The amount is very small. From the beginning, they have saved 5 rupees. Still, they maintain the same amount. Every week, they save 5 rupees at the group level. And this 5 rupee, and also they can save some other additional voluntary savings. They keep that amount of money within the group to use as emergency loans. So they kept the cash box at the branch level, at the group level. So they use that money for immediate need, to cater the immediate needs of the members. And also in the group, they train all the members to leadership. They must have take a leadership role, including finance, education, all the responsibilities are distributed among group members. And their slogan is, everyone is a leader. Every woman can be the president of Women's Corps. So that's in the group level. This is the foundation of entire movement. Then it comes to the local level, they have branches. It's a federation of small groups. They form branch with around 10 to 15 groups, get together and form a branch. Branch is an autonomous unit that has link with the national level operation, and also they are issuing loans. They manage all the programs of the cooperative, and also the minimum number is for forming a group is 10, but it can go up to 30. After it increase the 30 groups, they split into another branch. So to manage that's the sizable number for them to manage as a branch. In the branch, they have the management committee, comprises of all the group leaders, all the financial secretaries of the groups. Then they elect chairperson, finance secretary, institutional secretary, and deputies of those positions, and they together and manage the branch. Then we go to the national level. They have 2 levels of national level can be categorized into 2 levels. One is National Leaders Council. It's a pool of all the finance secretaries, all the group, all the branch members. They send their finance secretary to the National Leaders Council. Then from the National Leaders Council, they elect 45 members to the National Executive Board. So in the National Executive Board, they have a system of selecting the members. For the fair representation, every 10 branch, they can elect 1 member to the National Executive Board. And also, as I have explained earlier, they have separate thematic areas. 1 representative from each thematic area also join the National Council of the cooperative. National Executive Board is the highest level management. Within the National Executive Board, they elect President, Finance Secretary, Institutional Secretary, and Vice President, and another. Yeah, there's two finance institutional secretaries in the Executive Board. So only the finance secretaries are eligible to contest for these 6 positions in the top management. And also elections are conducted every 2 years under the supervision of Department of Cooperatives of Sri Lanka. Yeah, those are the thematic areas. The first thing is management of member savings, because that's the foundation of the entire program. The savings, they start with savings, that savings create trust, then again the financial discipline, and that's the core of this movement. Then the second thing, housing development, because they believe that housing, as Lachana mentioned, it's not just a structure, but you can have everything within the house, especially the recognition and the dignity which they did not have before this cooperative movement. Then institutional development, they have separate section to support their branch network to develop their capacities and operational mechanism. Then the poor people, they are vulnerable, especially when it comes to a health issue. They are vulnerable and they don't have access to proper health facilities. So therefore, health is considered as one of the important area, and they have separate health service program. Then the insurance, and likewise they have its growing list depend on the need of the community. The entire thing is, since the entire thing is managed by the community, they are flexible and they have freedom to change their program according to the needs of the community. And recently they have added disaster management and disaster resilience, especially during the COVID period. They use disaster section to support their members as well as the communities in the surrounding area. So some prominent thematic areas related to this presentation, we select savings, then the housing development, health and welfare service, insurance, and entrepreneurship development. So we will talk. Sorry.
Please continue.
Yeah, sure.
You have 5 minutes, 4 minutes, Ranjit.
Okay. Savings and loan at the group level. They do savings, compulsory savings and voluntary savings in the group, and the money circulate in the within the group, and they can now they can go up to 25,000 as emergency loans. Then in the group they have to get the membership as a group as well as individual membership for paying membership fee, and also get a share of the cooperative. And all the savings at the branch level paid with 6% annual interest, while the current interest rates in Sri Lanka, it's less than 2%. And loans are issued to members through their saving groups. It's not individual loans, it goes through the group, and group is responsible for repayment. And when it comes to the housing, they are charging 12% interest for housing loans, but other loans they are charging 80% per year. Yeah. And also they keep 5% loan security as a security measure, and also that amount deducted from the loan will keep as a fixed term deposit in the name of the member. So therefore, while they are getting continuously loans, they will increase their asset base and they are eligible to get higher amount loans. Then after 12 months after joining, they can get housing loan. They can apply for housing loan. And housing loans are given to house improvement, renovation, purchase of land, new house construction, obtaining services like water, electricity, and sewer systems. The highest loan, they have started with very small amount housing loans, but at present, they have issued up to rupees 15 million to purchase new house. And the repayment period, it's agreed at the group level. If it should be discussed among the group and discussed at the branch level to finalize the thing. For last 6 years, they have issued loans for new housing, over 6,000, and the total value of those loans is 5 billion Sri Lankan rupees. It's around 16 million US dollars. And then we come to the health, welfare, and insurance. They have the free health benefits to all the members. Members should not pay for that. It's go with the profit of the branch. The branch look after their members' basic health care through their health clinics. Every month, families are eligible to get medical treatments worth of 5,000 per month per family. And they have already started 6 health clinics in 5 districts. Those are modern health clinics with all modern equipments, and they are planning to start a hospital in Colombo to improve their Colombo Health Center into a residential hospital in near future. Yeah. And also welfare insurance, they have different insurance schemes for cover all the family members to in the event of death of a family member, the cooperative pay minimum 50,000 and up to 200,000 to cover the expenses of the death. It's not a burden, then it's not a burden to the family. Then they have some other insurance schemes. If the death or full disability of the income earner, the cooperative give 100,000 rupees for around 11,000 premium. Then the Sarani, every member, they can pay 1 rupee per day, and they will eligible to 100,000 rupees. Especially this insurance is to protect the children once the mother has faced some death or complete disability. This amount will deposit as a fixed deposit for children's name. Then another thing is for the member again, if the event of death or complete disability, the cooperative pay 400,000 rupees as insurance. Then they have not only covered the member and the family, they have think about the husband also. Again, depend on the husband's age, they have different premium standard sizes amounts. So if in the event of death or complete disability, they will pay 400, up to 400,000. Then the health insurance cover for the
Ranjit, please conclude.
yeah, sure. And it's again 400,000. Yeah, that's the new board of members. Sorry, we have some. Okay, thank you. So yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
the last slide.
Ranjit, and thank you, Ashoka. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, right here. I'm sorry to ask you
No,
to
it's okay.
okay, finish it because we are running out of time now. And so, although I mean, savings, financing sounds like, it sounds like easier, but actually it is not easier, right? So we have actually heard from the Sri Lankan experience how hard they have worked and how structured, how in detail every steps like, they have worked out and got the, the women's cooperative institutionalized and got sustained for so many years and really making a progress still. So yeah, very, very inspiring kind of initiations you have started. We have, like, Lumanti has learned a lot. And last year I visited your women's cooperative office and the clinic that you have mentioned. I was so thrilled. I learned so much, like, so it's really a good job that you have been doing. Yeah, okay, thank you. Now we have a next speaker, Lisa. And let me just give you a brief introduction about the next speaker. And right, yeah. So our next speaker is Lisa Van. She is the founder and director of Women for the World from Myanmar. And she has been working as a community mobilizer with women from grassroots communities and informal settlements since 2008. And she supports the community-led process in Myanmar. And she believes that those who are excluded from social systems become the most vulnerable and impoverished. So she believes that to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, we need to create an inclusive system for everyone. And she is so active and she is so dedicated community leader. I'm so pleased that she is able to come and speak with us today. So the floor is yours to Lisa. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to share our experience. So this is Vanlisa from Myanmar, but I'm quite excited anyway by live stream. So Latana already mentioned about the meanings of housing, the meanings of saving, the meanings of development, the meanings of how the grassroots empowerments. So I will not go for introductions. And I will share on behalf of the communities here. Okay, sorry. So, like, first of all, is collective housing the solution? But actually, I will not talk about a lot about the collective housing. I will be more because it's community housing finance. So I will be more focusing on saving group, about saving group. So, but it's related, collective housing is related. So is collective housing the solution? So based on our experience, we have been studying housing solution for low-income community through action research. Let's say we have many case project already, focusing on collective housing. So I have seen community come together to buy land, build home, and develop infrastructure. They're creating a supporting living environment. So in my experience, after 15 years, I can say this approach works. So while collective housing has many benefits, it can also face challenges. So I may not mention a lot about the challenges. As you may know already that building a better society, a good community doesn't come without hard working and sweating, so there are many challenges, many difficulties. So based on, however, the community can do that according to our experience. So You may already know that we are facing the political unstable situations, economic downturns, then rapid migration driven by civil wars. All that factors becoming the pressure to sell their land, their house, for the people, for the community. That's a very big challenges. And also access to funding is a big problem because microfinance loans, we use microfinance loans to build the housing for more scale up. So it's a high interest rates. So that the solution is very clear. By providing financial support for collective housing, we can help community use their resources and knowledge more effectively. To solve this, we need clear legal framework that supports collective land systems and provides revolving fund financing to help community manage their project. That's very clear after we have been working. So why the community housing finance is important? So you may already, everyone facing in even in the war, right? So the housing markets never offer the poor people or low income families for housing. And then the government also relies too much on private sector to solve all these housing issues. So in our context, since the government owns the land and must ensure housing for everyone. So it should invest in options that help low-income families move from informal settlements to renting to owning their homes, So like by providing affordable financing, the government can help these families find stability. So that's very clear situation that we know. So I'm going to talk more about the saving groups. When we talk about saving, how this saving group is processing, So different, like Sri Lanka has different model, different model in different contexts. So I like to share about more of our Myanmar context. So foundation of community finance. So women save once a week, contributing $1 USD each time. Like I will show. Okay, like this small group. They will come with 15 to 30 members involved in each group. So you can see in this photo, there's one group, another group, there are many groups, and they work together, they save together, they meet every weeks. And also they also, after they start saving, they also receive loans from their group for different kinds of issues, They have many kind of reasons. They can get loan for different kind of social issue. And then with 3% interest rate, maybe 2% interest rate, depend on the group defined. So the loan size also ranges from $50 to $300. They save very little, but they can even get a loan more than what they save, And then they pay back the loan every week, and interest is due every month. So you can see in these pictures, is they don't want burden, loaded. So pay back little, do little like this. This is the encouragement of the concept. And also like they also share responsibilities like box keeper, they use box as a cashier, and they also lock the key, 2 key, and they have key holders, and also they also need bookkeepings for their finance records and assistant. So they choose mostly 5 to 6 leaders, and they will rotate in just to motivate and mobilize the group. So in the small groups. So you can see at the end of the year, they conduct auditing and accounting closings events. And then they share the benefits or take action for bad debt, some people never pay back. So they have to find solution for that bad debt, And this is the happiest, excited part of the season. So at the end of the year, so many problems and also the benefit and very excitement moments. And also the group established various rules. maybe including like saving rules, loan rules, benefit rules, members, different kind of rules they conduct according to the problems. After they don't set up the rules beforehand. After they face problems, they set up rules after they solve their problems. So many rules come from after mistake. So like saving is the foundation of community finance. So currently, I don't want to do the graphic, and then very much dynamic process. So the numbers are never stop in somewhere. So let's say this is around 80 to more than 80s, saving groups and more than 2,000, many saving members are joining in the network actively. And then women who would like to address the housing issue join these saving groups. So they helping each other. So how to organize saving groups? A saving manual, the design based on the experience of women saving groups after many mistakes, after many problems they solve, so they all have a saving manual. So to initiate a saving groups, active community members have a training from the experienced seniors who have facilitated similar groups. And then following this, the group is formed with support and guidance from community facilitators. And leaders provide weekly follow-up initially, then later adjust their approach based on the group needs. So, and maybe they also use exchange, visiting each other, peer learnings, different kind of tool also they use. And also this is as a leaders receive different kind of training like accounting, bookkeeping, writing meeting minutes, as well as leadership, management, conflict resolution, different kind of set awareness, to be able to control emotions. Anyway, different kind of training also they receive. So those who have received training support and facilitate members in following the correct approach. So the key is mistakes are common, but this provide valuable learning experience. So, and like this, active leaders are trained to be able to use the saving manual with photo, with cartoons. So most of the community, they are not interested about writing and reading. So they have to demonstrate with the photo, pictures, cartoons. And then this is how they learn how to use the manual, and then they can share to their group members in accounting training, bookkeeping. And through these saving groups, women, they providing for health, education, livelihood, income generating, many kind of activity they have done. So like they have community kitchen, they will cook together, they will make a different kind of baking training like this. And they have small home-based factories, business. Some they do individual, some they work as a collective. And also like a daycare center for working parents. Some parents, they work in factories. They need to, there is no family member to support them, so they can bring their children in the community center, in the daycare center, so the community supporting them, assist them. So like this, they also link to the government departments. So small scale industry department provide different kind of training, livelihood training. So they get access. So you can see this is a award ceremony of the community leaders. So this is all the women leaders from our communities. They get supporting from the regional government. So how can we connect saving group with housing? So in Myanmar, we use saving to organize people, they gather data, implement project, and share the experience. And saving group can help gather financial resource and improving problem-solving skills and financial knowledge in the communities. So there are many benefits, and also many skills from this saving. And when they start join in the group, they start learn how to collect, how the collective system works. And they save small amount of money and they build trust. Building trust is also very important in the collective system. So it's important for them to understand who they can rely on and what kind of system they need to create of their group. And when they have limited resources, they start thinking about how to solve problems. They know that equity is not the same as equality and must set priority rules to address challenges among themselves. So when someone does not repay alone, they need to find solution through discussion and sharing knowledge. So why they need those kind of skills is like solving housing problem take times. So, and we need a long-term solutions, and we need a very high capacity also. Like leadership is needed to organize the group. So the community leaders play an important role in this process. They need to improve their skills and knowledge to keep good records. And then building collective housing is a key process, that requires teamwork, commitment from everyone involved. So solving housing problem take time, so we need a long-term solution for that. It is also very important to recognize that community can manage fund together effectively. So through this saving group, we can see that they prove it. And we need to create, so to encourage community participation, it is very clear message that we need to create simple system that encourage participations. So trust within community is a key to making funds accessible to low-income people. Oh, sorry. Right. Okay. So sustainability and scaling up. We need legal framework for housing finance, especially designed for low-income families. I never see those kind of design yet in my life. All the systems are so complicated. So we talk for low-income family, illiterate, even though they have very full capacity. So we need a strong legal system is essential to support the sustainability of collective housing. And also, it is also crucial to establish a solid legal foundation that facilitates housing finance for low-income individuals. And we need to ensure that everyone has access to safe and affordable housing, right? So we are talking about housing, but we forget about finance sometimes, and then we're struggling about where we can get finance like this. So by embracing community-led housing practice and making use of the collective efforts of people, we can improve how we manage our resources. And working together across different sectors is very crucial for making this happen and building a better, more resilient future for all of us. This is all the experience that we have, from in our contact, in our experience. We work for informal settlement. We have been building community housing, and also we also working in now the earthquake. So every kind of issues, this process work, like this process saving and linkage with different sectors, sharing the resources and skill up, this process is the only way to solve all these situations that we experience. So thank you so much. That's it. I hope I share in the limited time.
Thank you, Lisa. It's very interesting. Thank you so much. And I'm actually happy to see the very interesting, nice graphics that you have actually used, and also talking about the, like, the manuals that you are producing have a lot of like visuals, because that is what the community finds easier to understand, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So when we actually work with the communities, when we let the people to work accordingly, accordingly to their own interest, to their own need, that actually suit the local context. So they come up with their own solutions. They come up with the ideas, like, that actually fits to address the local challenges. And thank you also for talking about the challenges, and also mentioning that the mistakes and the wrongdoings as a learning, as a learning, and also moving
Yeah.
and a step for moving ahead. And if you make something wrong, or if he something mistakes happens, like, we don't stop there. The communities, the women, they don't stop there. They talk, they discuss, they find solutions, and then they make a progress, they move ahead from there. And also thank you for highlighting that something legal framework, some legal foundation, some legal backups is also very important for scaling up the process.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you, Lisa.
You're
And
welcome.
so if there are questions or remarks, or there are for questions or for remarks or for sharing, please please write in the chat box, right? And then we will try to respond your queries later on. So now the third presentation, I myself is speaking the third presentations. It's from Nepal. Can you make the slide bigger, Mahmuda? Right, yeah. Or maybe, yeah. Right, okay, thank you. Maybe you can put this in a mode. Rubeya, can you put this in a slideshow? Right, yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to share experience from Nepal. Okay, so it's not really very different from what Ashoka has already talked about, or Lisa has shared. So because we all are like, working together and also sharing our own experience with each other. So there is a similarity, right? But then maybe something different initiations that we have actually taken, that actually allows us to take in the context of Nepal. So very briefly, Lumanti, I'm the executive director of Lumanti for many years. I'm also the founder of this organization, and we founded Lumanti in 1994, and we work on housing for low-income communities, economic empowerment of women and youth, capacity enhancement, partnership, water, sanitation, health, and community resilience against disaster. We facilitate the community process. We work with the communities and facilitate the collective housing processes, community development processes, helps communities to lead the change process. Next slide, please. So why community financing? We have actually talked a lot about it, so I'm not going to explain in detail. But when we started many years back in the mid 1990s, I think, so more than 30 years back now, when we started the community financing. So why we actually thought that it is very important that we should work with the women and introduce saving schemes, right? So we started getting organized women. We helped them to come together. And the money is a means. What we have learned that money is a means to bring the women together. So it's not only about the collecting money, but the collecting people through money, right? So when the women, they start saving because they would care about the money, they would like to know what is happening with the money, so they come together. So we also talk a lot about, like, it's not only collecting money, but through money. Money is the means to collect the community, to bring the people together. And also to develop the community leadership, women leadership. It is very important. And access to easy credit for livelihood. Those days when we started 30 years back, the access to easy credit is such a challenge for the slum dwellers, for the people living in the poor, in a very slum communities, in the local income communities. It was a big challenge, even for them to get access to 1,000-2,000 rupees. Take a loan, they are not trusted. Nobody will trust them, and they don't have access to formal financing institutions like banks. So it was a big challenge at that time. And we also thought, okay, it's a ladder. We also realized this community organizing through saving is maybe a step, is a first step. It's a ladder for them to climb towards the collective housing, to also to ensure the secure tenure and improve the housing conditions. Next slide, please. So then we started initiating women-led community financing. It's the start of a transformative journey. That's how we see it. So we started organizing women in the slum communities in Kathmandu and Lalitpur. We first started working in Kathmandu, right? In the mid 1990s, around we started doing this, I think 94, 95. And we started saving scheme in 3 communities, in 3 poor communities, introduced the first saving scheme, got the women in the communities, got organized. And then it was such a big challenge at that time, as we heard from the earlier speakers. So we actually really forced them, to put 10 rupee in a saving schemes, to contribute 10 rupee, it was so hard at that time. Then we also had learning visits to Spark in Mumbai, and then also to Women's Bank Sri Lanka, and of course later on to Thailand and other cities as well. So we also learned how the savings, how the women have initiated the ski savings, how they are collecting money, how they are using money, where they are keeping the money. So all these things we actually learned, and then ACHR also contributed a lot in the regional this learning visits, and our community leaders, women also benefited a lot from these exchanges. And we started with 3 communities, 3 saving schemes. Later then it got expanded into more communities in Kathmandu. Next slide, please. See, and the women who got into the savings, who became a part of the saving, they started feeling a change. See, there's a quotation from one woman, one community leader, who said, my husband used to scold and beat me after drinking alcohol, but nowadays he respects me because I have access to financial resources. So when actually women started saving and started bringing the money home for livelihood, for housing, or for whatever the purpose, for children's education, for health, so then they also started getting respect from the family members as well. So there's another quote: we are solving problems ourselves, being united. Whenever someone has problems like domestic violence or any crisis, we help each other and take necessary action. So as I said earlier, it's not about like money, because there is a money now. The women, they are coming together, they are talking about the problems, family issues, whatever it is, and they are solving the problems as well. So they're helping each other to get empowered, to feel encouraged, to get motivated. So the money is helping them to share about their issues, the problems that they haven't been able to talk earlier. So that's how in the beginning this all happened. Next slide, please. Then it was the saving groups, saving schemes, saving groups. It was all informal when we started. So we actually started, introducing these saving schemes with women. Then, right, it was all very informal, and they were in a small group scattered in the communities. And later we thought maybe it's a time to formalize the community savings. We also learned this from the Women's Bank Sri Lanka, because it was registered and formal institution. And then the law in Nepal also allows to get the saving and credit groups to get registered. So we started, actually, we got the saving groups, women saving groups, saving and credit groups as saving and credit cooperatives. We got them registered. So the first, we actually got registered three cooperatives from the slum communities, and it was actually easier for other communities. So, the communities in the formal, the formal where the housing is formal, like, but in the small slum communities, to gathering the women there and to get the registered, to get the, the women saving and credit groups from the informal settlements, it was really a big challenge. But we managed anyway. I'm not going to talk about the challenges in detail now. So we actually managed to register the first 3 cooperatives. And then, so the formalization led to the growth of members, number of cooperatives, and savings amount. So once actually this got registered, so people's trust in the schemes, it actually grew in a positive manner. And then the number of cooperatives and saving amounts, so they also started saving more because their trust actually enhanced. So initial investment from cooperatives seen on livelihood, education, housing, wash, and health. All right. So people started actually, the members, the community women, they started borrowing for livelihood, for children's educations. In the beginning, it was very little for housing, but for water, sanitation, and health, more for the education and livelihood actually in the initial stages. So they started actually borrowing for housing later only, but in the initial, more the investment was on more livelihood and education. So the confidence of women improved in investing in small business. So because they have now access to the easier credit, they started doing some small business, like they started opening tea shop, vegetable shops, and so many other things, like, so their confidence and grew, and financially also their situation improved. Now there are many cooperatives. We actually got registered, and we actually thought that maybe it is a time now to federate all these cooperatives, right? And then we got them together and we federated, or say we actually introduced a network of all the cooperatives, and then and it's now known as a Community Women's Forum. Next slide. So this is how they are organized. Like you see these, the blue circles, the blue small circles, they are the saving groups, right? And there will be a number of saving groups in the communities, and in so many communities. So all these like scattered community groups, the saving groups in the communities, the scatters, they are brought together, and then they are registered as cooperative. Right. So there is a cooperative. So it's not only one cooperative, it's a number of cooperatives. We actually heard from Ashoka in Sri Lanka that, it's only one cooperative and they have like different branches all over Sri Lanka. But in the context of Nepal, we cannot actually make a big cooperative. There are many limitations there. So we have to actually, we have to register smaller cooperatives, right? So there are many cooperatives, and then all these cooperatives, we actually got them federated, and we introduced the Community Women's Forum, Women's Community Leaders Community Women's Forum. So it's a network of the cooperatives. Next slide, please. See how the membership grew. So we started, I think, in 1996, 1997 with very small number of women's group. And now you see the total numbers is 53,636. By 2025, the number of the women's group, the number of the women members in all the cooperatives is 53,000. Next slide, please. So the investment by co-ops now, it's a cumulative investment that we see. So the still, the total, the loan taken by the members is for the business or for the livelihood purpose. But now the, investment is also growing on housing. So the the community members are taking loan from the cooperatives for investment on housing. So the total 25% of the total investment of the cooperatives is on housing now. Next slide, please. So we have these saving and credit cooperatives active in 24 municipalities, and there are 1,790 women saving group and 53,000 women members, and there are 37 saving and credit cooperatives now. And there are 5 cooperatives ready for registration. So when they are ready, it's not that we actually get them registered immediately. We make them ready, like the cooperatives. They get ready, they start working as a cooperative, and then when they are all ready, when they are used to it, then we get them registered. So there are 5 co-ops ready for registration now, and there are 4 self-help saving groups. So which is the initial stage of before they progress into the cooperative. So so the total savings of all these women is USD 20 million now. And then the total cumulative loan flow that these cooperatives have made is about USD 90 million. Next slide, please. So what is the impact of the cooperatives in housing and community development? So what you see is women are empowered and respected, and they are recognized as a reliable partner in development, because they are running a successful cooperatives or successful community-based institution which are dealing with money, but not necessarily on money, because they are also doing a lot of community development activities, right? And I will also briefly explain on that as well. So community infrastructure improved, like the temples, rest houses, healthcare, community schools, water sanitation projects, drainage, garden, walking paths, and there are so many the infrastructures that actually need to be improved. And the women members, they have worked with the local governments, with the local other partners, community organizations. They were constructed and improved and well maintained. Social cohesion enhanced, that is very, very important, right? So when we talk about the collective housing process, it's not only about building the houses. It's they're working together, they are sharing together, they are building themselves together. So it's actually also when there was an earthquake in 2015 and then COVID, the women co-op members also provided a very important support to the vulnerable families, for their to ensure that they are not left out and they are well-being, and they stay well and they are taken care of. So this is what is very, very important. So it's not only about making money or only doing the business, but then also to be sensitive about the community needs, and also feel getting responsible, addressing the community needs in the time of the disaster as well. So the reduction of poverty, what we see is now the financial situation, of course, in the communities who have been a part of this cooperative as a member, the poverty is reduced, and also definitely see the improvement in the housing condition. Next slide, please. See the women co-ops, the kind of community infrastructures they have managed to construct, and then also they have managed to construct and also maintaining is these are just the small examples, like walking path, conservation of the water resources, construction of small gardens, making the best use of that land in the corner in one community. And also this is it's a community hospital, right? So that the community cooperatives have been a part of the initiating the construction with so many other organizations, and also with the ward offices, and they have been able to raise fund and build this hospital there. So various kinds of activities, the community cooperatives, the women have been engaged and contributing in the improvement of the community, improving the living conditions of the poor families there. So while scaling up collective housing process, okay, because this needs to be scaled up. How can this be scaled up, right? So we thought about it, and now we are working on 3 models for scaling up the collective housing process. Partnership for leveraging resources, because we need to bring more resources. We need to leverage the resources for scaling up collective housing, mobilizing the money for to make more happen, to scale up, to make the government feel responsible, right? So the 3 models that we have been working is partnership with Urban Community Support Fund. That's a Urban Community Support Fund is the local government led at the city level, and partnership with the commercial banks, and partnership with the cooperatives. Next slide, please. So how we are working with the Urban Community Support Fund. So this is the structure of the Urban Community Support Fund. This Urban Community Support Fund is set up at the city level, and it is always chaired by the municipality. So the secretariat of this fund is always taken care by the preferably by the women's cooperative. They act as a secretariat. But in Kathmandu, because it's the first time when we actually started this fund, so Lumanti is the secretariat in Kathmandu, but then in other cities, the cooperative is actually working as a secretariat. And then so they also provide loan to the cooperatives or by themselves to the members of the members of the communities for various purposes, for housing, for livelihood, for infrastructure, like for basic facilities, right? So this is where the money comes on this fund. So this is an autonomous body within the municipality, right? And the municipality contributes, municipality is contributing to this fund. And we also, the fund that we can actually generate or receive from the donors, we also contribute this fund to the Urban Community Support Fund. Right. And so when there is also the housing projects or the housing initiatives need to be planned and constructed and supported. So the fund is also slowly mobilized from this fund. But then this is like, we have been able to introduce this fund only in few cities. So this is not in many cities now, but it is functioning well in few cities. Okay, this is one model. And the example, like, how we actually link the fund to contribute in the housing is this is the first project that we have actually implemented. It's in the Kirtipur housing project, right? The fund for this project was actually contributed through the Urban Community Support Fund, and ACHR and SDI had also contributed to this fund. And also the Kathmandu Metropolitan City also contributed to this fund. So, like, together with the donors and together with the local governments, the communities have been able to, it's a relocation project. They purchased the land and constructed the housing. And then so the communities pay the construction of the housing on an installment. So many families have actually cleared the loan to this day. This actually started about 17, 18 years ago, right? And but then only few families still need to pay back the loan. So I'm not going into detail now. If there are questions, then you can write, because I'm, I think, running out of time. Okay, next slide, please. So this is the example. And also, like, this is another example from Ratnanagar. So this is this you can see this this note. It's a poster. It's about it's about introducing the fund, like it's introducing about the Urban Community Development Fund, where municipality actually committed that they have actually contributed 3 million Nepali rupees, right? And it is also signed by all the municipality members, right? And here in the photo, you see that the then mayor of the municipality is actually installing the number of the the household number in the slum community, in the informal settlement. So this is how, like, this fund mobilization, creating the Urban Poor Development Fund, actually also influencing the local governments to ensure the secure tenure, to recognize the existence of the settlements, and to make investment in housing and infrastructure. Okay, next slide. So the community, because when the local governments get engaged, when this fund gets activated, the community also get engaged in the planning and construction. This photo is from Kalaya, right? So these houses are already completed, but then actually I have only this old photo, right? So I've just put that photo. Here the community women, the community people, they are engaged in the planning, and then there is the construction actually starts. So okay. So this is, okay, another model that we have been working is partnership with the commercial banks. So we have also started working in partnership with the commercial banks. So how we work with the commercial banks is, like, we signed a tripartite MOU for housing construction operating. And we signed this MOU is mainly signed by Lumanti and the bank and the municipality. We have been working with few commercial banks like Lakshmi Bank, Kamana Development Bank, and NMB Bank in Nepal. So we leverage the funds from the municipality and the bank. Lumentan municipality contributes as guarantee fund, revolving fund, and bank top up on the fund. For example, Lumanti provides say 20% and municipality provides 30% as guarantee fund, and the bank provides 50% of the fund. So the contribution from the municipality is again, it gets revolved. And the contribution that we have actually mobilized from the support from the donors, it also gets revolved, right? And so communities are organized and they are linked with the ward offices for accessing, improving infrastructure, and also planning for the housing as well. So the housing construction is a municipality or the technical experts are actually hired to supervise the housing construction quality as well, because after the earthquake now all these bylaws are a little strict in Nepal. So next slide, please. This is one of the example where where we actually work with the bank to leverage the resources. This is it's called a Samabesi tool, and this community has 76 houses, and where we got the communities to get the loan from the bank here, right, for this project. So the local government, the banks, and the communities and Lumanti, we all work together. So this is actually this is meant for the urban poor rental families who always wanted to buy a land and build the houses for them. So the urban poor rental families had to be organized. So they got organized, and then we helped them to access land and also do the planning. We did the planning, and then we got linked them with the banks for the loan facilities. So the municipality also invested in providing basic infrastructure in the communities, right? And we also have a cooperative office here. If you see that, the green little signboard there, and where two people are sitting there. So that is the signboard of the women's cooperative office in this community. Next slide, please. So this is what a typical MOU looks like. We signed a MOU with the bank, with the bank, Lumanti, and the municipality and the communities, and we list all the responsibilities of the concerned stakeholders there. So I'm not going into detail now. Okay, next slide, please. This is also photo of signing the agreement with the Pokhara Metropolitan City for constructing the housing facilities there. So we actually, they made a commitment to contribute to construct 100 houses per year for the next 5 years. I think this photo was taken 2 years back, and the construction is going on. Right. So partnership with the community cooperatives. So we also partner with the cooperative. The women members, they do survey planning, mobilize, they negotiate for land and secure tenure. They become a part of the upgrading and relocation, and they also make loans for housing, livelihood, easily accessible, and municipality provides grants to the 4 families, all managed by the women cooperatives. Next slide, please. See, this is the cooperative partnership model. Model 1 is again, we also provide another set of loan to the saving and credit cooperative that they actually use for the housing, for the expansion, for upgrading housing. Next slide. And they also, the another model is it's a grant, they also, if there is a fund, if there is a grant for the housing, the community also, the cooperative members, they also get engaged in the planning process and for the implementation of the housing as well. So there are 2 approaches that we actually deal with the cooperatives. Okay, next slide. So how the women cooperatives were used. We actually, how the women cooperatives, the cooperatives actually contributed in the housing constructions. I'm just giving you an example of the reconstruction support after the 2015 earthquake. The cooperatives got, they actually provided emergency support, building temporary and permanent shelters So they made the financial contributions as emergency support. That's their own fund because they, they have the fund, right? They also made financial contributions. They engaged in surveying and collecting data, and they also linked with the local governments, mobilized funds, and engaged in the construction of temporary shelters, and provided also support in the reconstruction through low interest loan, and also in getting engaged in the planning process as well. Next slide, please. So this is what the temporary shelters look like, where women actually took the responsibility in supporting in the constructions of these shelters. Next slide, please. So these are the examples of the reconstructions. This is mainly in the rural areas where the cooperatives actually got engaged also in supporting the reconstruction as well. This is after the 2015 earthquake. So we also promote, and the learning exchanges happen. We see this is SHR regional team visiting one of the Kalimati cooperative. We see Somsuk standing here, and Lisa is also there in the group photo, right? So they visited. It's I think about 2 years back, visiting the cooperatives. So this is actually a cooperative office in Kalimati cooperative in Kathmandu. Next slide, please. So the cooperative, the groups, they meet regularly, they talk. They are also promoting entrepreneurship, like catering and also get engaged in various kinds of community development activities. Next slide, please. Okay, this is what the cooperative offices looks like. You see now, because we started 30 years back, they started actually with nothing, like, from zero, sitting on the ground, and, they don't even have anything to store the money, to save the money, nothing, no safe, nothing like that. Now, they have all these full-fledged, well-staffed offices to manage. And they have also entered started doing using the digital support as well, like, the apps, mobile they are using to ease all this transaction process now. So they have really made a big progress. Next slide. So this is a photo from the annual general cooperative. Like at least in a year, all the women, they have to gather for a meeting in a cooperative. Next slide. Also, many of the cooperatives also have built their own buildings now. So this is like, in a process, they're having a meeting, or the foundation stone laying ceremony here. Like they're going to build, they have already built a building, cooperative office building. And they're also having a meeting with the municipality, this one in one of the city. Next slide. See the leverage amount, like, how much we have actually leveraged from the banks now for 2,200 units, about USD 8 million total fund. And the fund mobilized by Lumanti is $5.5 million US, and the fund leveraged by the municipality and the bank is $2.5 million USD. So this is the this is how we have actually, how much we have leveraged from the banks to contribute in the housing, low-income housing. Next slide, please. See, that's from the banks, and this is the housing investment through cooperatives. So now we have like roughly calculated, and we found that approximately the cooperatives have reached out about 14,500 families and supported them to improve the housing through providing loans, and they seem to have invested about $20 million US. Next slide, please. So the key impact and learning is, I'm not going to get into detail. Poor communities are not unbankable. They are untapped financial actors. Community finance is a powerful catalyst for transforming lives. Scaling up community finance is essential. Building cooperatives take time, but it creates deep-rooted, long-lasting change. Revolving funds increase sustainability. Next slide. And community finance fosters trust and financial discipline. Linkage between informal and formal finance are also crucial. That is happening. We see it. Strategic partnerships unlock scale. So this is what we are also finding is collaboration among the local governments and other partners is unlocking or supporting in scaling up slowly. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I have taken a bit long time. Okay, now I stop here. And if you have any questions or any remarks, you can start writing in the chat box. Now I invite Ruby from Philippines. She is a very well-known, famous community leader and has been actively engaged in mobilizing the communities for quite a few decades now, actually. So Ruby, and I invite Ruby to make a brief intervention to share experience from Philippines briefly. Okay, Ruby, over to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Ruby from Homeless People's Federation. And after hearing the three presenters, I felt inspired because what we shared also uh, our experience as part in the community process that we are doing. So the federation, the Homeless People's Federation, composed of 92 communities across in 16 cities and municipalities. And same to the three presenters, we are doing also savings. And because our members are facing different issues like insecurity of land, living in critical areas like along the railways, under the bridge, and even in the riverways. So by the time since 1998, we started the savings program because I think this is very important to demonstrate the savings internally within the organization because we had a hard time accessing budget or finance from the government because they see the poor people, they are not trusting poor people to allocate some funding. But after like 3 decades or 2 decades of implementing the savings, which implemented by three major regions in the Philippines, so we demonstrate our savings that these savings help our members in accessing their basic needs. So when we started the savings, it really helps inspire and encourage communities that they can buy land. In 1998, we buy our first pilot plan through our savings, and we got also some support from the Caritas Manila. So by that time, all of the communities are inspired that it is possible to buy land with our savings because the shared resources, the shared commitment, the collective actions in securing land is there, and the federation supported all the communities that are needing that land. But that time, it was really hard to negotiate with the government. But when you show the forces of the communities that they are serious in addressing the issue of the insecurity of the land, so they decided to demonstrate a support from outside external to show that this process is impossible in collaborations with the local government. So the 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 situation now after 2 decades of processing our savings is not smoothly implemented. We had a lot of challenges. We have these upside downs, but still we are existed now in the federation because we know the values of doing the savings, the values of uh, collective decisions and gathering together to address the issues of informality. So I think the savings made a lot of changes in terms of the perspective of the local government because if you support this kind of process, there are a lot of solutions happening in the city. But if they are not really support the process, the community also struggling on their own, because buying land is a big is a cost. There is a cost implications of doing it. So after some time, when we demonstrate that we bought our land and we negotiate with the government, that's the time that they open the doors for collaborations, and now there are 3 cities who are uh, giving financial assistance in buying land, in constructing their houses, and and putting the site upgrading development of the community. So there are 3 communities have the should supposed to be presented, but because of the limited of time. So one of the communities in on-site with 358 families. So they bought the land for 25 million out of their savings and collaborate with the local government through community mortgage program. And now the city government allocated 167 million pesos to do the infrastructure development and to support the retrofitting of the reblocking affected families. So I think the main reason why this engagement happening, because we demonstrate something in the ground, which is we mobilize our own resources, the internal resources of the community. So many people doesn't believe that community people can buy land. It's very impossible, but because we are a network of communities who do the savings and trying to negotiate with the land owner and the same time with the local government, even the private entity who can extend loan to the community, it's also happening now in the federation. So the main reason why we demonstrate, because we want to also get some trust from the government that we are seriously addressing the issues of the homelessness, especially the Philippines. We are confined with different kind of disaster, climate change. And then if the communities are living in the vulnerable places, they're more most affected by these issues. So if we are not addressing on our own and waiting for the government, so there are a lot of like casualties that will happen. But because of the federation also proactively finding solutions of these issues, but we need the support of the full support of the local government, because this is not easy to to give the solutions alone on the federation. So I think the way to access finance is to demonstrate and make it more organized in your own community, and then show the systems that build and the process that you are doing, and then let the partners also help on how to advocate this kind of process. So I think it's been a long time, but when we talk land, it's a long process in the Philippines, especially land is not regulated. It's always the price is always increasing, no regulate that. So I think we had a hard time also to cope the price of the land. So if the government can really help in addressing this in collaboration with the community, I think this is the way how the main accessing to finance, not only finance, but more on how the systems of the government also giving space for the community to be part of the development planning process. Yeah, maybe I end with my
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ruby. I'm sorry that there's not much time, but I think I just hope that maybe during this people-centric development season, and maybe you can talk in detail about the process, right? So thank you very much sharing the experience from Philippines. Now I would like to invite Somsuk for your brief intervention. Somsuk,
Yeah,
over
thank
to
you. I hope I can limit my intervention in 5 minutes. You know, hearing all this experience in 4 countries. First of all, I like to congratulate all the groups because I am old enough to see all your group start from zero, from scratch, from nothing, from only eviction, no? In those years, and then there's a lot of change in each country, each group, and by being together as ACHR, as the Asian Coalition, we learn from each other. We learn how this Sri Lanka is working, how Nepal is working, how India model is working, and little by little, different country develop their own way. To see the different model, develop in we able to we develop several projects you mentioned, but at the right time, at the right opportunity, we could put together all this experience and build the institution, which is CODI up to now. And by making the institution to support the people-driven collective housing project in a big way at the national level, it become a new kind of institution which learn from what we have been presenting, and make it a system. Here, what we have present, you could see from the case like Lisa, in which she has to start from scratch. The country has a very problematic political situation. When I was there around 30 years ago, it's only eviction, right? People, so many of them come to the city, and only eviction, poverty, no program, no possibilities at all. I mean, Nepal and other countries, Philippines could be the same, but Myanmar it happened a little later. So from that kind of no hope, nothing possible for the poor people, they little by little find a process of change in which we use saving and linking the people together through the saving activity and building the funding system. And that's all very, very important saying in this presentation that it's not only saving the money. Saving money is important because you have your own fund. You have your own fund, you have the power to make decision among the group. You build trust. You have the resource. So you each individual or the group as a whole could develop and build capacity, build the experience, because by doing things little by little, you gain the new capacity for the whole community. So it's a way to change. It's a way to change this development, and it become I mean more developed like the Women Bank and or even in the Nepali process of co-op. I think this whole process start in my knowledge allow in the late 80s in Asia. In the late 80s in Asia, we could experience from the way in which the Indian Mahila Milan start. So my tribute from the ACHR and I myself to what the Indian experience have started in late 1980s. And that inspired all of us that very poor pavement developer get together and build a fund and talk, and it's quite good, quite able in all the aspects. I think it inspired all the group in Asia. So through the ACHR process, we able to develop community fund assistance. So different group can initiate or start up the saving activities, a little bit of fun for this and that, for welfare, for whatever. And then we have the ACA program to support the citywide upgrading. So two different funding that facilitate this saving activities and also the collective housing. Not just one project, two project, but citywide approach and city fund, a city development fund, and linking with the city system and so on. So I think this growth from zero in the 80s and inspiring learning to the Mahila Milan in India, it sort of allow a very exciting, very amazing growth in different countries. According to the different context and political setting, we develop the community saving community fund and up to the collective housing. This far, I call it a very real distance from the starting point. We see a lot of institutional arrangement in the people process and the city system, and like Rachana present the linkage with the commercial bank and so on. So many development, and this is something I think is extremely interesting, because this is what Asia is all about. Our ACHR family is all about that. We learn something, and then different country develop different model, right? According to your possibility and context, and it grow in a different way. And by this different, we learn from each other, right? So you see the development of like microcredit, like the Women Bank, we see the Grameen, we see the microcredit movement in so many countries where they start as a community saving or community credit. Then they develop a little more into housing, like the Women Bank. It is start from the people process on the ground up to the national level for the various necessity of the collective needs and working together of the people. And then they have housing as one of them, which is still a little bit the microcredit in nature, but the group could provide housing loans to the member. So we have one model like that. And then you have a model of LISA, like Myanmar, Philippines, or even in Nepal, where the kind of community saving, which develop into a community fund, allow the community a collective housing project, sort of a project development and a project system, right? And I think this is quite important, and this is very much in our ACHR way of support and learn from each other in the past 30 years. Because collective housing is a little different from the kind of microcredit, the kind of access to finance. Access to finance is mean the poor could get individual loan for improvement or to fix a bit of thing here and there. Collective housing is another meaning, because it's like we have the collective power to develop a collective system together. And the collective finance is the only thing that would allow us to develop this collective housing system, where not only having access to houses, but we also build the community, build our system, build the relationship with the city, build the network, and so on. This is the root which is developed from collective housing movement, and it's come from the collective fund, start from the saving activities and so on. So I think this is a very big story for myself. I think this is so significant that the poor in so many cities, so many countries in the world may start from zero, not zero, but minus, facing eviction, nobody except you, you are invisible, you are nobody. Suddenly, to the understanding of the saving activity and building the fund, little by little they get together. They develop activities, doing things, build a housing project. So they become a more progressive process in the city, because they do it together. They do it with very, very little resource. And they do it not one thing, but for many necessary activities. And they build the link among themselves, they build the link with the city and so on. So this is what I think is so significant about our collective movement. And just another point, I think that the movement of the late 90s to the saving activity community fund is very important because, you know, we change the movement from just right-based. Right-based now is quite important also, that we have to keep calling for the rights of the poor and so on. But when we ask the government to give us rights, they give it in their way or they don't give it, they ignore it and so on. So you only have to be a passive recipient or you are nobody and you are out of their understanding system. When we change to a community saving and fund and collective process, collective housing, we change from the people who ask from somebody to give you the right into the new process of granting ourselves the rights. Okay, so we are the solution, changing from the problematic model into a solution model, and this is a leading solution process that the existing governance system are not able to give you this knowledge, this way of doing, this kind of resource. So this collective housing process in Asia, I would say that it comes from all this experience from the people who start from zero, and it become a very, very rich experiment. It's a very rich experience, and it's a very rich setting, and it's a lot of money now for many of the groups that we are working in so many countries. Here in Thailand, we also have an institution. We want to change politics, change the city and so on, similar to what you have been doing in your countries. So just want to tell all our friends that we are on the right track. Keep going, and we're going to change the life of the poor, the city, and all the relationship of things in the society through this community fund and collective housing movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Somsuk. Right. Thank you for drawing the key lessons from all the presentations and also like, you know, how we have been moving ahead. So thank you so much. Right. There are two questions I see in the chat box for Lisa. Lisa, have you been able to read the questions for you? Would you be able to answer those questions? And if there are more remarks or questions, please, you can still write in the chat box. But then, yeah, Lisa, please.
Giorgio, nice to see you after a very long time. Yes, about the earthquake. In the beginning, this earthquake was very shock. And in the beginning, we did not know how to intervene effectively, you know. So we approach individual. But that individual solution is not working always, right? So Samsung and the Thai community, they also came and supported us. And then we work together, we sit together and we see together. And then finally, we come with the strategy of people process again. So we intervene now in Amrapura city, in 5 communities in the big scale. So we collect the data, we organize saving, we cook together, we talk together, we do the exchange program, and then they build housing, you know. So now most of more than 100 houses are built and renovated, and community are very busy and no complaint at all, you know. So the process is going. So we use this approach, and then I hope others organizations. We also link with the different kind of organization to introduce this process to share the resources. Yes.
Thank
And
you, Lisa.
also another, yes, question.
There's another question. Yeah, you see that?
The other question is, yes, for loans, whatever is the community decide, you know, the community, they collect the data and they prioritize, and especially based on, they don't use the, how to call, the standards is not, everyone is unique and everyone have the same problem, but sometimes not the same, right? So they said equality is the same, so everyone will get the equal. And then some people might say, not the equity is not the same, you know, based on their needs. So they decide like that. and the community decide. For example, mainly the boat need. So maybe they think for children, more people, more disabled, and then more challenging they are facing. So based on that, and about the how to call disaster hazards situations, based on that they consider, and then they select it. So normally we don't select, we are not pick up anyone. We try to make the resource for available for everyone, revolving, So if there is 100 women or the 1,000 women, even though the resource is limited, just time, they just manage the time. This first time, second time, yeah, they wait and then they share the resources. So I think it works. We do in that process. Yeah. And then like the bad debt, they had the bad debt, not recovery debt. Some people, they don't pay back. So the community is a collective, right? This collective money. So collectively they lose, no problem. And they learn from that mistake. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Thank
I think
you.
there are,
Yeah.
I don't see any more questions in the chat box, but then thank you, Celine, for pasting that, YouTube link is on the Indian Mahila Milan story. I have such a fond memory of visiting and interacting with the Mahila Milan in Mumbai, and then, going around and the memory is so fresh. That's right. Okay, thank you for the link here, and people can actually, visit more detailed story and go into detail to know about that. But then this is like, all the presentations, it's been so rich, so beautiful, and so kind of like, connecting, like, we all get connected with this experience sharing. We learn each other, we have grown. It's been 3 decades more. And when we started, I just wanted to share that, okay, because we're talking about Mahila Milan, so we also learned a lot from that. And when we actually visited Mahila Milan, the pavement dwellers, the saving, they had already few 100,000 rupees, like 3 lakh rupees they have actually saved in a teen trunk. And then our community leaders, myself, oh, we're talking about like, oh, when will we have that much of money, because we have just started like saving. See, but then you need to have a patience, and you need to just keep on doing, keep on moving, keep on working, like, and now they have like saved, like, I showed you the figure earlier, like $20 million US. I think the total saving of the women is like, yeah, and they have invested so much. The investment they have made is like $90 million US. I mean, that's unimaginable. And the offices and the setups and the buildings they have now is like in the last 30 years. So such a long journey we have made, but all for good. And also like, securing the houses, tenure, more negotiations, the community is directly working, talking, like, oh God, like, this is like starting, actually, as Somsuk also said, we started from scratch, from nothing, like, but now,
Yes.
see, so much change. We all see this is, it's not only in one country, it's in all the countries, like, so this is very, very important. And then, so I would like to conclude now, and I would like to thanks special very thanks to all the speakers who have come, and we have actually shared your experiences, beautiful experiences. It's a learning, like, it's a heart touching, so much rich insights that you have actually shared. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa, Ashoka, and then Ranjit. Actually, Ranjit is the director of Urban Resource Center Sri Lanka, who actually talked on behalf of Ashoka. And thank you also, Somsuk, for summarizing, for summarizing how we have started, what are the key learnings, and why this need to be built up. So thank you, and thank you the POCA team, and thank you all the participants, for listening. So, and then there are many more sessions to go ahead. So, right, yeah. So community finance for collective housing is not just a housing strategy. It's a pathway to equity, dignity, and a real participation. I think this is it. It's a pathway. So we need to keep on working, and then we need to work collectively. That is the spirit, that is the strength that actually keep all of us connected as well to keep on moving. So we just needs to keep working for equity, for dignified life of the people, and for the real participation of the people. Thank you so much. Right, and then
Thank you.
maybe
Yes.
Mahmouda
Thank you all the
has to say some
participants.
logistics
Yeah.
information.
Sure.
Mahmouda
Yeah,
or
I would
Rubaiyah
just
for
like to
logistics information.
I'd just
Yes,
like to share
right.
with all the participants that the next week we do not have any online session. So our next online session is on 27th of October, and we will have 4 more online sessions on 3 topics. But you by now you already know that we are using the same link, and we will still be sharing the link and today's presentation with you through email. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, and
Thank you.
bye-bye. And
everybody.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Okay, bye. See you in the next session.